It was a beautiful day in Townsville. Bright sunny skies and not a cloud in sight. Until, what's over there?
Mwahaha! Achoo! I have never felt so bad. This sickness will not stop my plan to destroy Townsville. I will take this virus and I will cough and sneeze across the entire city so that everyone in Townsville will be sick with me.
Looks like the city is under attack by the common cold. The citizens have lost all hope. They are utterly helpless and in desperate need of a true hero. But who? Is there no one who can help this forsaken town and make it healthy again? Fear not, fair viewers. For there is a man of science, who looks back to the sweeter time when there was a spice to life and everything was nice.
Sugar, spice, and everything nice. These were the perfect ingredients chosen to create the perfect little girls. But Professor Utonium accidentally added an extra ingredient to the concoction: Chemical X. Thus, the Powerpuff Girls were born using their ultra superpowers. Skinny Minnie, Natalie, and Daphne have dedicated their lives to fighting infections and the forces of evil.
Skinny Minnie, who represents the physical barriers needed to fight pathogens, Natalie, who represents innate immunity, and Daphne, who represents adaptive immunity, have dedicated their lives to fighting crime, the forces of evil, and today defend against Mojo Jojo, who's the pathogen that infected the entire city. Skinny Minnie is highlighting some parts of innate immunity, which is mechanical and physical barriers. Mechanical and physical barriers include physically blocking pathogens from entering the body. The skin is the most important mechanical barrier. In fact, it is the single most important defense the body has. The outer layer of the skin is tough and very difficult for pathogens to penetrate. Mucous membranes also contribute to innate immunity by providing a mechanical barrier at body openings. They also line the respiratory, GI, urinary, and reproductive tracts. Mucous membranes secrete mucus, a slimy substance that traps pathogens. The membranes also have hair-like cilia, which sweep mucus and pathogens toward body openings where they can be removed from the body. Finally, chemical barriers destroy pathogens on the outer body surface, at body openings, and on inner body linings. Sweat, mucus, tears, and saliva all contain enzymes that kill pathogens. Urine is too acidic for many pathogens, and semen contains zinc, which most pathogens cannot tolerate. In addition, stomach acid kills pathogens that enter the GI tract in food or water.
Skinny Minnie symbolizes physical barriers. Once the first Mojo Jojo droplet falls onto the city, Minnie's first instinct is to fight it off just as a physical barrier does in order to prevent entry of an organism or eliminate it from the body. After the Mojo Jojo droplet approaches Minnie, she coats herself with an oil bubble, which is a representation of a sebaceous gland secretion, which creates a low pH that interferes with the growth of microbes. When another Mojo Jojo droplet approaches Minnie, she opens her mouth to phagocytose the Mojo Jojo droplet. When doing this, she is mimicking the actions of Langerhans cells. These cells are located in the epidermis and dermis of the skin, and they send out T cells and B cells to capture foreign invaders such as bacteria or viruses. Minnie then traps and isolates the Mojo Jojos inside of a bubble, just like mucus does to trap and isolate microbes.
Natalie represents the first line of defense known as innate immunity. Innate immunity is present at birth and responds immediately to potentially harmful agents. It protects against a variety of different substances, which makes it non-specific. Innate immunity includes physical barriers of skin and mucosal membranes, as well as non-specific cellular and molecular internal defenses. Cells involved in innate immunity include phagocytic cells consisting of neutrophils, macrophage, and dendritic cells. Neutrophils and macrophages destroy and engulf particles, while dendritic cells destroy particles and then present fragments. Basophils and mast cells are also involved, and their job is to promote inflammation. NK cells are known as the apoptosis-initiating cells, and eosinophils are parasitic-destroying cells. Natalie symbolizes innate immunity. Initially, when she laid eyes on Mojo Jojo, she wanted to attack him, but is unable to do so until the road widened enough for her to migrate from one location to another. Similarly, with innate immunity, vasodilation and inflammation occurs to make way for neutrophils, mast cells, and other immune cells to access the site of infection. When Natalie ate the first Mojo Jojo, an alarm started to go off. Immune cells start to release cytokines to recruit other cells to help with fighting the infection. The alarm is symbolizing the release of cytokines.
You should also take note that Natalie isn't just eating Mojo Jojo, but she is also engulfing other foreign items. Innate immunity is not specific in that it does not have a specific target, but rather tries to get rid of anything foreign in the body. Last thing to note about Natalie is that after she engulfs Mojo Jojo, she obtains his hat symbolizing the map that she will later use to activate the next Powerpuff Girl, Daphne. Natalie presents the hat to Daphne in a specific location. Similarly, in the body, APCs present to T cells in the lymph nodes. The bridge between innate and adaptive immunity are the antigen-presenting cells that present these maps, or in this case, the Mojo Jojo hat to the plasma cell, which will then be able to start generating antibodies.
Daphne embodies the final line of defense during an infection. This is known as adaptive immunity or acquired immunity. Adaptive immunity is gained over time as the body is exposed to more pathogens. When the body is exposed to something new, it begins by recognizing a non-self antigen. Then there is a response generated specifically for this pathogen. It can take anywhere from 2 to 4 days to build a strong enough response against a new pathogen. While this is occurring, there are also B and T cells being activated as memory cells for the body. These memory cells are stored away and reemerge when faced with a pathogen again. The body then has a quicker response, which results in you feeling better quicker as well.
Daphne meets up with Natalie at the park. Natalie tells Daphne that she has to go home and meditate for 3 to 4 days. Daphne goes home to meditate, and after 3 to 4 days, is stronger because she now knows that she has to fight the Mojo Jojos because of the hat.
After about 4 days of meditation, Daphne is able to unleash her true powers. She has been out of the fight for far too long, and everyone in Townsville, including her sisters, are in dire need of her help. Daphne pans over to Townsville, looking for Mojo Jojo. When Mojo Jojo is spotted by Daphne, she sees the hat. The hat represents a PAMP, or better known as a MAMP. The hat symbolizes that Mojo Jojo, depicted in this story as the common cold virus, has been identified as a foreign antigen by a TLR receptor. Daphne's recognition of Mojo Jojo's hat symbolizes that her powers have been activated. It represents the memory B cells and T cells being activated by the previous tagging of the PAMP or MAMP. After recognizing Mojo Jojo as the threat, Daphne multiplies and sends Y-shaped antibodies out from her hands. This represents the increase of lymphocytes production of the B cells. Her arms represents the B cells coming not only from local lymph nodes, but also from the bone marrow. The antibodies then attack the common cold virus known as Mojo Jojo and destroys him.
Ah, my virus. I can't believe this. My droplets. This wasn't supposed to happen. The whole city was supposed to be sick. My plan was genius. It doesn't make any sense. They knew exactly what to do. I have nothing else. My droplets are no good anymore. They stand no chance against the Powerpuff Girls. They found every weakness I had and used it against me. They used the physical barriers to keep me out. They used non-specific immunity to swallow everything, which gave them access to my hat, which was complementary to the use of the adaptive immunity system. And they recognized and destroyed my droplets with no hesitation.
Skinny Minnie, Natalie, and Daphne all unite together to stop Mojo Jojo's tirade on the great town of Townsville. Skinny Minnie was the first defense against the army of Mojo Jojo. She was able to coat herself in an oil that enabled her to lock them in and allowed her the ability to defend against the first wave. This oil then coated the army, leaving them stuck and defenseless. to her quick action. This quick action led to a weakening of Mojo Jojo's attack. Natalie came from behind and destroyed 50% of Mojo Jojo's army by her helpful tactics of defense. By utilizing her ability to multiply and engulf foreign objects and pathogens, she is able to protect the town from Mojo Jojo's attack against the city. Daphne had the most lasting defense against the tyrant of Mojo Jojo. Daphne was able to bring out the strongest defense against the Mojo Jojos. She was able to destroy the last dwindling array of the Mojo Jojo army that had been launched against Townsville. Her use of B and T cells allowed for the total destruction of the now defunct army. This was the final kick to end Mojo Jojo's tirade and rid Townsville of Mojo Jojo. And the Powerpuff Girls, Skinny Minnie, Natalie, and Daphne will fight for the future of Townsville.